think what really happened was that they were having an affair, but also they were on opposite sides. And when push came to shove and they had to do their job, she was supposed to try and kill him, and she didn't. But she did shoot him in the chest. If she really was trying to kill him, she would have shot him in the head. So there's a sort of history there between them. And finally, after all these years, there's this reunification. So in the midst of all this mayhem, there's this kind of romantic interlude, which is charming, Well, Helen's become really quite phenomenal, I think. She's grown into the grand lady of the English theatre. She was, I wouldn't describe her as the grand lady of the English theatre when I worked with her, but she was grand, but she was a sort of, she was hot, very hot in those days, and I think a lot of, she turned a lot of heads. Partly because nobody had ever seen anybody like that in the English theatre, because I think it's actually because she's partly Russian. So she has a kind of very unusual quality, and it's very sensual, and her acting was very much like that. And actually in the play I did with her was, the television film I did was all about a woman who was kind of highly erotic, trying to actually, I played a would-be lover who was going to be her husband, but she had other people she had to get rid of in order to get to me. She had to kill all her other suitors off, and she was great in that. I remember, and it was, it was Helen of the 1970s, who was, quite a gal in those days, and self-confessedly so. The nice thing about Helen is that she's completely upfront with who she is and honest about who she is, and it's delightful, and she's so good at her job, and it's just been a very sweet time for both of us. We've just really enjoyed it. I think, I hope I speak for her as well, but I think we've had such a nice time together, just working together and doing our little dance and stuff, I just think it's entertaining, I think it's hugely entertaining. It doesn't take itself massively seriously. It's also partly satirical, so there's a satirical element to it. So there's a lot of styles involved here. It's not just one style. There's a lot of kind of tongue-in-cheek, sort of pastiche as well. So in a sense, it's kind of, there's a little bit of deconstruction going on, and that's what makes it fun. It's not the Bourne Supremacy where it's all very, very important and the stakes are very, very high. The stakes are still high, but there's a sense of that the world is a slightly crazier world. It's a slightly more heightened reality in a way, and that's what makes it interesting. Certainly what makes it interesting from a playing point of view. And